Kevin had survived worse mornings than this. He'd endured combat drops into hostile atmospheres, lived through engine failures at sublight speeds, and once spent 3 days breathing recycled air in an escape pod. But none of those experiences prepared him for waking up with a warm, scaled tail wrapped possessively around his waist. The tail belonged to Hyle, daughter of the Sarathi matriarch, and she was still fast asleep beside him in the diplomatic guest quarters. Her silver scales caught the morning light streaming through the viewport, creating prismatic patterns across the walls. Beautiful, certainly. Problematic? Absolutely. Kevin carefully tried to extract himself from her grip, but the tail only tightened. Hyal's species, the Sarathi, were serpentine from the waist down, and their tails possessed a strength that could crush durasteel. He stopped struggling immediately. "You're awake," Hyal murmured, her violet eyes opening slowly. "Good. My sisters will want to begin the verification ritual soon." "The what now?" Kevin asked, though he had a sinking feeling he knew exactly what she meant. The previous night had been a blur of diplomatic ceremonies. As humanity's representative to the Sarathi conclave, Kevin's job was to negotiate mining rights on 3 mineral-rich moons. Simple, straightforward, professional. Then the matriarch had presented her youngest daughter, Hyle, and declared that the ancient prophecies foretold a chosen virgin from the stars who would unite their species through sacred bonding. Kevin had tried to explain that humanity didn't really do arranged marriages anymore, and also that the virgin part was definitely not accurate. The matriarch had simply smiled with too many teeth and said the prophecy would reveal the truth. Now apparently there would be a ritual. Hale finally unwrapped her tail and sat up, her humanoid torso covered in the same silver scales that adorned her serpentine lower half. "My sisters must confirm you are truly the chosen one. It's tradition." "And if I'm not?" Kevin asked hopefully. "Then you'll be released and we'll return to standard diplomatic negotiations." She paused, her forked tongue flicking out briefly. "Though Mother will be disappointed. She quite likes you." Before Kevin could respond, the door chimed. 3 more Sarathi entered without waiting for permission. Hyle's sisters, each one larger and more intimidating than the last. Their scales ranged from deep emerald to burnished copper, and their tails swished with predatory grace. "So this is the human," the eldest said, her golden eyes narrowing. "He looks ordinary." "The prophecy said nothing about appearance, the Sira," Hyal replied coolly. "Only that he would come from beyond the stars and possess the courage of the ancient defenders." "Courage?" The middle sister laughed, a hissing sound. "What courage has he shown?" Kevin stood up, drawing himself to his full height. He might be smaller than these alien warriors, but he was human, and humans had a reputation to maintain. "I flew solo through the Krell Nebula to reach your world on time. I survived 3 assassination attempts by your political rivals. And I ate your mother's ceremonial feast without complaint, even though I'm pretty sure that last dish was still moving." The sisters exchanged glances. The youngest, barely smaller than Hyal, slithered forward. "The prophecy also speaks of sacred marks, signs of the stars upon his skin." "Oh, for the love of—" Kevin started, but Hyal cut him off. "He has them," she said quietly. "I saw them last night." Kevin froze. The scars from his military service, the old burns from a ship fire, the genetic markers that identified him as from Earth's solar system, these were all documented in his file. But how would an ancient alien prophecy know about them? The Sira circled him slowly, her tail creating a soft susurrus against the floor. "The final test, then. The chosen one must demonstrate why humanity deserves to be our allies, why you specifically are worthy of bonding with our sister." This was it, the moment that would determine whether humanity got those mining rights or went home empty-handed. Kevin took a deep breath. "Your prophecy talks about a defender from the stars," he said. "But humanity doesn't just defend. We adapt, we survive. We take impossible situations and find solutions that no one else would dare attempt." He met each sister's gaze in turn. 300 years ago, we were confined to one planet. We had no faster-than-light travel, no energy shields, no genetic enhancements. We were weak by galactic standards, and now?" the middle sister asked. "Now we're everywhere. We've colonized systems that other species abandoned as uninhabitable. We've made peace with enemies that war doctrine said could never be negotiated with. We've taken technology that was meant to destroy us and repurposed it to explore the universe." Kevin smiled. "That's what I bring to this bonding. Not because some prophecy says so, But because that's what humans do, we make the impossible work. The room fell silent. Then slowly, Thesira began to laugh, a genuine warm sound that echoed off the walls. Oh, Mother is going to love him. Hayal's tail found its way around Kivan's waist again, gentler this time. The prophecy is fulfilled, she said. Not because of marks or trials, but because you understand what we truly need. Not a warrior. A partner who refuses to accept defeat. Wait, Kivan said, realization dawning. The whole prophecy thing was just a test? Half test, half genuine religious tradition, Hayal admitted. The verification ritual would have involved combat trials, endurance tests, and ceremonial poisoning. I convinced my sisters to skip straight to the important part. Ceremonial poisoning? You would have survived, probably, she grinned, showing delicate fangs. But this way is better. Now we can finalize the mining agreements and begin the bonding ceremonies. Just to be clear, Kivan said carefully, the bonding is metaphorical, right? Political alliance, cultural exchange, that sort of thing? All four sisters looked at him with expressions that suggested he was adorably naive. Oh, Kivan said. Oh no. Oh yes, Hayal replied, her tail tightening affectionately. Welcome to the family, chosen one. As her sisters filed out, already discussing wedding arrangements, Kivan reflected that this was definitely going in his mission report. Right under the section titled, How Humanity Accidentally Married into Alien Royalty and Secured Mining Rights for 3 Generations. His commanding officer was going to love this. Or have him court-martialed. Possibly both. But that was a problem for future Kivan. Present Kivan had a bonding ceremony to survive, and if humanity had taught him anything, it was that you could survive anything with enough stubbornness and creative thinking, even alien in-laws with prehensile tails and a fondness for prophecies.